a new Shonen Jump manga has just come out right now in Shonen Jump, known as Takuan and Batsu. Now, I like to normally do this with manga, especially when they're brand new out of Shonen Jump, because I like to see, you know, what's fresh in the magazine, what's hot, what's actually good. And since the Shonen Jump magazines, which I'd highly recommend as well for you guys getting as well, I'll link it down below, what they do is this real cool thing called Jump Start, where they'll do the first 3 chapters of a series and they'll be like, alright, let's see if they, you know, any of these are good. And if they like stay around in Jump, and if there's a big request for them, then they'll actually keep doing these. And from what we saw for the first chapter of Takuan and Batsu, Daily Demon Diary, it's Beelzebub mixed in with Yura rising the yokai clan. So you get like the kind of wacky, kind of like humorous that you get for Beelzebub, and then you get all the yokai hunting / demon hunting from both Beelzebub and Nura Rise of the Yokai Clan. So we get to see that our main characters involve the King Enma's only daughter, Batsu, who seems to like have a very big thing for like improper etiquette. Is like, you know, like a violation of orders. You have to have the proper etiquette, you have to have respect. And for our main like character, Takuro, or as everyone calls him, like Takuan, because of some like weird like pickle thing, like it's a Japanese thing, alright? Like even I was like, you know, what the fuck going into it. And he's the kind of like one thing, like one of the issues I have with like the manga coming into the start of it is like, oh, the main character's the same as every other fucking main character, where he's like, he's just, you know, usual black haired dude, you know, like resembles like how people are in Japan a lot. And it's like, yeah, you know, we're the same kind of like, I just want a normal life, but then wacky scenario happens. I was a bit like, okay, I'm getting a little bit what the gist of this manga is, but there was some actual real good twists and turns in this manga that actually made me a bit surprised. Basically, yeah, wacky thing happens as he's running to the train, and for what we saw, Batsu comes running out saying, yo, I'm the king's like only daughter, ends up fucking like swinging around and hits him in the crotch, and I gotta be like, ooh, actually that's, you know, that's a bit powerful, getting a headbutt in the crotch, you know, you don't normally expect that apart from toddlers coming at you, but full swing motion from that. And it's like, yeah, the thing is with this, like she's like, oh, kind of like, it's like a, she has like an eye for an eye attitude, like saying like, oh, I accidentally headbutted you in the crotch, then how about, you know, you do it to me and all that. And for what the one thing that, which is the kind of the biggest problem with this manga, is for some reason it was really forcing in etchiness at some parts. Like, I had that, and like her clothes getting melted, and then there was like, oh, I'm really giant, so I'm gonna have like this sort of like, you know, see the panties. Like, you cut, it's blurred out so you can't see them, but it's like you can clearly show that's what they're kind of going for the audience. I'm like, really, you gotta, like, you have to force. I hate that manga has to force us in sometimes. I mean, I'm a man that enjoys my etchiness, so from time to time, trust me, I enjoy shit like DxD. So it's like, you know, I'm all fine and proper with it. It's like, when you can clearly tell it's being forced in to like get a demographic saying, yeah, this is what we want, ooh, I like a bit of Batsu if you talk, like, I was like, ah. But like, for what the story was leading to is that she's actually trying to solve this crime where there's actually a piece of shit like yokai demon like roaming out, which is this thing known as a frogman that melts people. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's like, because you actually see people die in this manga and like get really fucked up. There's like bodies like melted and shit. I was like, okay, you know, that's kind of interesting. And like, from what we see, she has like a Rine kind of thing where she's like pulling out different kind of weapons and stuff out of there. So she has like Enma's gavel, which is a giant hammer, which is like is her main weapon she uses to beat the shit out of people. Or she has like a like giant like claw grabber, where she's able to like turn people small. So there's a lot of unique things that she can do with it. Although she was like I liked it when she like were kind of running away and she was explaining the whole yokai thing to him, and it was like, oh yeah, tongue extraction hell. It's like, you ever tell a lie, I'll rip your tongue out. Like, I will say, like, the thing about unique about this manga is like, oh, it has like some really like nice art actually, although like it's very simplistic at sometimes. I actually kind of like the really demonic faces that they have at some points. Like, it kind of looks very creepy, which is the thing that they're going for. And they take this whole investigation about a frogman to the police. Like, why would you even take that in the first place? Who would believe you as this fucking frogman? Takes us to this like, you're like, cop. They go into the place where they're like, oh, it's suspected he's not here for a while, and this is like what's happening. Find a body planted there, and like, okay, this is this motherfucker. And although they did manage to get caught up, but it was actually the policeman that told them about it, because, like, you know, you gay shit, but like, why would you know this sort of information if, like, there's no real evidence going around there? You know, there was, like, shit like that going into it. Although, I will say, like, you know, like I did like it that, you know, at first what we saw Batsu, she was like, oh, thank you, you already helped with the investigation, I got more than enough. Here, let me make it up to you. She bought, like, alright, just buy me a can or something like that, and then ends up buying, like, a shit ton of cans, like a mountain of them. It's, like, doing dumb shit like that. But then we get the, like, little twist about it where it was like, he confronts the guy, he transforms into it, and he's, like, fucking wrapping his, like, acid tongue around him. And the thing with demons around here is that, you know, like, people already have, like, when they have, like, sort of, like, hatred and, like, you know, kind of lust for stuff like that, that starts what, like, getting them attracted to demons. And the thing was, like, he actually started to admire killers, and he was like, oh, I admire these murderers, I wanted to do all this stuff and all that, I wanted to murder people as well, and, you know, all evading arrests. And this frog kind of caught onto this, and he was like, oh, he granted me this body. And the twist is that actually Takuan is actually, like, one as well. Like, he was actually possessed by an ogre, and he's like, I fucking hate this ugly malice, and he's, like, taking over, and he's, like, beating the shit out of them. So it was interesting because, like, he was now about to seemingly end this frogman, whilst, like, you know, Batsu actually jumped in, froze him, and was like, no, you ain't gonna be doing this. And it's like, oh, you're possessed. And turns out the reason why is because he was living with his mother was a cop, had a strong sense of justice, and one day she got killed, and Big up for this villain saying, you know, do you hate me? Then come and find me and kill me, and, you know, like, sort this stuff out. Which, you know, I thought that was a nice thing, like, he's actually got past. So it can lead in an action sense, like, it's like, if it wants to do that, it's like, it can either go into two ways. If the comedy fails, it can go into the action. If the action fails, then it's just doing, you know, comedy, a little bit of comedy and a little tiny bit of action, you know, that's what it's doing. It's like, it has all this set up for, like, oh, it can do whatever thing it wants to do. And Batsu at the end of it was just like, alright, you're going to be my, like, full-time minion then, like, for the rest of this. And ends up sealing, like, throughout this pet, like, I'm sentencing you to, like, suffer what all your, like, victims did. And I'm like, that's pretty fucked up. And, like, doing this transformation of, like, this King Enma, like, Batsu, like, transformation going full to hell. The lake of blood leading to Yomi. I'm like, that's kind of actually pretty cool. It's, like, fucked up at the same time. Like, yeah, like the manga just kind of ends on that point where it's like, I'm going to put this collar, you're going to do what I do, and it's like, oh, if you, like, go out of control and everything, then that's what that collar will do, will fuck you up. And I'm like, okay, that, you know, overall, you know, like I thought it was a decent manga. Honestly, I thought it was kind of going into, like, one, like, kind of, like, trope where I was like, oh, he's going to be the straight guy, like, this, like, whole scenario, and he's going to be the human, but he's going to, like, stop her from going truly demonic in some way. But it was nice that he actually has that twist where he's like, oh, no, I'm actually, like, a demon, a part demon as well. And the fact that it's like, I'm possessed by an ogre. So I hope we, like, maybe get a little bit more info on the ogre itself, since it's kind of unclear if that if these actual yokai demons, like, are they fused with the body? Like, are they actually, because from what he said, it was like, oh, I was given this body, but it didn't say if they're, like, actually fused with them, what happens to them, like with the situation. So I'm kind of curious about that, like, what exactly, like, is going on with there. So, like, and also as well, we didn't get any context to, like, how exactly he met the ogre. So there could be a lot of answers to this, but I think, like, from what it was, it started off fine. Honestly, the only issues I had with the manga was, honestly, its etchiness. Like, I was like, it felt really forced in with that. Like, I think, like, the art will be a little bit simplistic for some people. I do like it when it gets into, like, certain bits where there's, like, the lake and, like, the burning acid and, like, sort of demonic scenes, like that, but it's like, for most people, I don't think people like it too much, but I thought, you know, it was enjoyable art. It wasn't anything too special, though. I think, like, it was really just started off very, like, tropey, here, you know, wacky adventures, but it did get sorted out at the end about that, but I'm not gonna lie, I was like, oh, this feels pretty generic, like, starting off from it. I think it was good, nothing like, oh my god, I'm like, what more now? Like, I think it was fine, so I think it does deserve a 6.5 out of 10. I think it was a fine, like, start of the chapter. I feel like this is going to be something that needs to build, like, to build up more about it. It's got some real intrigue to it. I would say the people that do have the Shonen Jump subscription do check it out. I mean, just check it out, it's just like an addition for there. And I do believe there's, like, one more manga that's coming out as well, and it's like, oh, this would make sense if, like, the rumors about Nisekoi, like, are actually ending, so it's like, oh, we'll have a new manga here, and it's like, and hey, it will end there, and if it doesn't work well, we'll get another manga in there. That's just kind of how it is. It's kind of brutal in Jump. Most of the time, it normally just gets 13 to 24 chapters, like, for the most part of mangas, although they've been a little bit more diligent recently, where a bunch of the new stuff have been lasting that long, so that's kind of good to hear, that they're trying to get, like, more fresher stuff in there. But we'll have to wait and see where this manga goes, if it actually sticks around. It's alive. I don't know if this is going to be something that the Shonen Jump magazine itself is going to keep around. I mean, I didn't think they were going to pick up Black Clover, but luckily they did, and some other stuff, so I'm really glad about that. It's like, maybe this might be another one on there, because I do feel like Shonen Jump does need something a little bit more like on there as well, because out of the stuff that we have got, we got Hunter x Hunter, Food Wars, Academia, Bleach, Nisekoi, Toriko, World Trigger, Black Clover, and Blue Exorcist, and Seraphim. And I don't know if they had Twin Star Exorcist, but I don't think about that. Like, I don't actually think they have Twin Stars. So they do have a good amount on there. I would like it though if they maybe had like one more prominent series on there. Personally, I'd pick Gintama on there to have on there, but I highly doubt that. But it's like, get one of the other new series on there, and it's not like, it's not a full battle series from what it looks like, but hey, and all that, it's like, if it's going to be like that, I think like, if Nizuko's ending, we do need like another kind of slice of life, wacky like story with it. But it's like, I mean, I prefer another romance coming into there, but we'll have to wait and see. But 6.5, I think it's fine. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think about like Takuan and Batsu's Daily Demon Diary? Think this is like anything worth to like check out on there? Like, you know, and also what do you think like Shonen Jump magazine? Not talking about the actual like actual magazine. I'm talking about the online thing. These another series on there. I mean, apart from like the ones I've named off, you know, One Piece and all that, and like obviously Boruto are left out. It's like, you know, we've got some series on there that comes out, but it's like, I personally like another series that come on the actual online magazine like service. So we'll have to wait and see. But that's all from me. Thank you very much for watching. As always, if you like this chapter review, then hit that like and subscribe. Always appreciate it. But I'll see you guys next time.